From pelicans to flamingos, lorikeets to eagles, what do all of these birds have in common? These volant birds, meaning capable of flying, belong to the family Neonath, which consists of virtually all living birds apart from their sister taxa, pale Neonath, which consists of rattits like cassowaries and ostriches. These birds are able to fly due to two main flight muscles, the pectoralis muscle and the supracoracoideus muscle. The large size of the pectoralis muscle is tailored to meet the mechanical power requirements of flapping flight over a range of flight conditions, while the supracoracoideus, which is 1/5 the size of the pectoralis, is the primary wing elevator activated during upstroke, particularly at slow to moderate speeds and while hovering. But on many small islands, some species, like the world's heaviest parrot, the kakapo, lost the power of flight and spent most of the time on the ground. Why is that? Hypothesis suggests that if flightlessness is represented in island bird evolution, then increasing island insularity and reduction in predator pressure that drove birds to flight could trigger transitional shifts of energy allocation and muscle mass away from the forelimb and more to the hindlimb. Accordingly, even volant island birds might reduce their investment in its flight apparatus and more in their hindlimbs.
To determine if island species evolved smaller flight muscles than their continental relatives, the two main flight muscles were extracted and weighed from collected bird carcasses. The flight muscle mass is scaled isometrically with bird body mass. Results show that island species had smaller flight muscles relative to body mass compared to the mainland. For forelimb and hindlimb investment in island bird populations, researchers measured museum skeletal specimens focused on 15 known taxa, including kingfishers and hummingbirds. Measurements are focused on the lengths of the keel bone, which is index of the pectoral muscle mass, and the tarsal metatarsus of the hind leg. The forelimb-hindlimb index is pressure dependent on factors including island area, land bird species richness, raptor species richness, and the presence of native mammalian predators. Data for the factors were compiled from scientific literature for each island from which researchers had skeletal measurements. For island area, it's examined whether island birds evolve towards intermediate body size as they become more hindlimb dominant by measuring the slope of regression of island taxa body size versus their average body size. The island rule predicts that larger taxa evolved smaller sizes on smaller islands and smaller taxa, and vice versa. But results suggest that island area is not a significant factor between the direction of body size on islands and average body size.
The figure represents avian clades in the trend of limb muscle size. The colored branch tips and squares represent the species in each clade and the density of land bird species richness. The dashed line shows the average limb size in each clade. The position of the squares shows the trend in limb size with values further down away from the line indicating larger flight muscles and shorter legs on islands of high species richness. The overall result is the trend of reduced flight muscles and larger legs are in response to ecological factors on small species-poor islands which have been consistently supported among island birds, regardless of the type of species, populations, body shape, etc. Raptor species richness and the presence of mammalian predators were the best predictors of forelimb-hindlimb index, with keels becoming smaller and legs longer on species-poor islands. These islands tend to have less diverse food sources, competitors, habitats, and lower predation pressure that could release the need for large, powerful flight muscles needed for fast escape. Socialized predators, specifically raptors that hunt birds, exert more pressure on islands, hence the lack of specialized predators allowed more energy investment on hindlimb size and reduced energy needed for flight muscles. The evolution of longer legs may have appeared via selection for perch type and ground foraging. Songbirds and other volant birds are shown to have longer legs in response to a wide variety of perch types, habitats, and food sources on species-poor islands. Reduced interspecific competition has led to increased terrestriality.
Two major implications of the results are that Volant Island birds will be more vulnerable to introduced predators, and reduction in flight muscle size reduce the probability of overwater dispersal to other areas, inhibiting inter-island gene flow. The results provide a new perspective that the transition to flightlessness is the extreme manifestation of a pattern in the evolution of birds in response to a lack of predators.